coming to you live on a Sunday night with Small Town Andrew. How's it going, Andrew?
It's going great, Rob. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. We just want to come on for a couple of minutes and let folks know that we are moving over to a new platform, America Out Loud. You can now catch us on iHeartRadio and Apple iTunes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I think the time is either going to be 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Central Time, or 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Central Time. But we'll definitely let you know. But we're just coming on now just to remind you or to let you know that we are upgrading our game and we are excited because we're now hitting the big time and we will be on radio 5 days a week and on Apple iTunes. So you can still catch the old broadcast on Facebook or megamedia.org on Facebook. YouTube, isn't it, Andrew?
Yeah, you can just go to YouTube and type in MAGA Media, all as one word, and it pulls up our YouTube channel. And you will find all of our old broadcasts, and I'm sure we will still be popping on occasionally to keep you guys up to date. And be sure to subscribe to iHeartRadio, America Out Loud. If you have iHeartRadio, we would really appreciate you. Subscribe to the channel America Out Loud, and we will be on every single night at 9 Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. So we are looking forward to it. And big changes ahead, a lot different format for us. We're not used to the old radio format. We're just used to shooting straight for an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it is. But we're excited.
Yeah, and we're going to have some of our favorite co-host, BB Diamond, who's going to be there with us, Ray Poetry, and Heather Robinson. Yes, we're going to bring the gang back to analyze, dissect, and share their opinions on the radio with us. So, again, new station, new format, but we will be back stronger and bolder and still breaking it down to you as we always do with our regular top of the line analyst co-host. So we're really excited about it, folks. We're really excited about it.
Yeah, we really are. And hopefully we're doing a better job explaining our transition to America Out Loud than Matt Gaetz did, explaining his innocence to Tucker Carlson. Huh, Rob?
And that was a nice transition. I got to say, I hope that Matt is innocent because I really like Matt. And I think that he's definitely someone we want to have in our corner. But if these allegations are true, that he had this little dalliance with a 17-year-old, shame on you, Matt. And we're going to call it out the way it is. Should not have happened. You're a bad man, bad guy, naughty, 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 innocent until proven guilty. But I will say this. Guilty or not, Republicans better stick behind him. There's no need to try to remove him from any committees, because if you can't get Eric Swalwell to be removed from a committee, considering what he did with China, if you can't remove Ilhan Omar from a committee, considering that she married her brother illegally, she probably falsified her documentation to get to America, and then she lied about her campaign finances and some of the damaging things and horrible things that she said about Jews in Israel and on the Hill. You guys can't remove her or Eric Swalwell from their committees, and you want to go after Gaetz for allegations, something that we don't know is true. You want to remove him, Kevin McCarthy? Really? This is what I've always said about these Republicans. They don't stick together, but they want to remove them and then let the other knuckleheads stay. Democrats are playing a completely different game. Republicans are outside playing hopscotch, and Democrats are playing Monopoly, and they have a steamrolling ride over weak back Republicans. Yes, I did say Kevin McCarthy. I think he's weak. I don't like him. I know that he wants to be the Speaker of the House. Okay, but we just got to call it the way we see it. We need strong Republicans. And I've said this on more than one occasion. BB Diamond, you need to run. Okay, you need to run for office. And there are a lot of others out there that need to run. We need people who are committed to the cause. We need people who will get out there and fight, not people who are weak. We don't get it right all the time. But look at the Democrats. Look at what they're doing to this great country. They wanted to turn it over to socialism. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she does not care one bit. She's another one. Why is she still on any committees? What is she doing? She's passed no bills, but she talks a good game. She raises money. Joe Collins, we need him there. Kim Klacik, we need them there. Rayla Campbell, we need her there. We need people who are willing to fight for us, and not people that are just going to back down and roll over and are afraid of their shadows, only go to the border when they say, oh, okay, let's go to the border. Yeah, we see the pictures at the border. Newsflash, they don't care. No one cares about it. Okay, they don't care what's happening at the border. Before long, you'll have 100,000 illegals marching through the borders. They don't care. They being the Democrats, no one cares. The media does not care. They'll pretend as if though they care, but they don't care. And if you think they care, they only care for half a second while they push through their socialist agenda. Wake up.
Yeah, exactly. It's so obvious what's going on at the border. I mean, when you promise these illegals free health care, free food stamps, free everything, and then you tell them that, hey, we're not going to finish building the wall. Our border's wide open. It's basically just an invite to tell them to come over here and start being a nuisance to our tax dollars. I mean, this disaster at the border just keeps getting worse and worse. And anybody with any humanity would feel bad for these like little girls who got thrown over the wall the other day. But this is completely on Joe Biden and the Vice President Kamala Harris's hands. Kamala Harris was put in charge of the border. That's a joke. She has no idea what she's doing. Her only thing that she's done as far as illegal immigration has gone into the past is tell them to come over here and act like they're going to get a bunch of freebies. I mean, we all remember the Democrat primary debates when they promised illegals free health care and free food stamps and free college and all this other ridiculous stuff that's just a burden on the American taxpayers. As sad as it is, Rob, we all seen it coming.
Yeah, we saw it coming. And just going back to Kamala Harris, when we talk about she's supposed to be over this border thing, but as soon as the president announced it or Joe Biden announced it, she came back and said, oh, no, I'm just only over the logistics and communication, because she knows that it is a doomed project. She does not want her name tied to it, although she's tied to it, the Biden-Harris administration. What a marriage, Biden-Harris administration. It is a failed policy. They will fail. And the only way they will succeed is if they build a border and if they tell these illegal aliens, yes, I'm saying illegal aliens, not illegal immigrants or undocumented workers, we got to call it the way it is. Because when we start trying to sugarcoat it and change things up, that's when we go into, you can't say male, you can't say female, you can't say he, you can't say she, you got to say they, you got to say it. This is a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of baloney, okay? But Kamala will fail at this, and that is the reason why she doesn't want her name on it. We have to wake up now. It's really time to wake up and start calling this the way it is. And I've said this so many times before. Conservatives have got to get out of their shell and get out there and get in the front of this and start calling it the way they see it. Because you know what? You got white liberals that are out there destroying the country. Let's just call it like they said the way it is. White liberals, they're destroying the country. They instigated all the riots this summer thinking that, oh, the black people, we're helping the black people out. No, white liberals are destructive. And Van Jones, who is an ardent liberal, even said it. He said, the people we need to fear are the people that support Hillary Clinton. They're the ones we need to fear. We're busy looking for the boogeyman as being the white man. Well, we don't like white men because they're too toxic. We don't like white men because of this. No, we need to look at those beta white liberals. I'm calling it the way it is tonight, folks. The beta white liberals who are extremely dangerous. Go ahead, Andrew.
I was just giving a Jesse Lee Peterson shout out by yelling beta after you said that. But
Yes.
Yeah, the white liberals are so destructive, as BB Diamond just mentioned in the chat room. Did you see that comment from Charles Barkley where he said that politicians, and I think he was talking about Democrats in particular, just want the whites and blacks in this country to hate each other so they can keep getting the same voting patterns time and time again. And it's time that people wake up. I mean, this Joe Biden administration has been a total disaster. It's not helping anybody. I don't know what argument you can make that it is, because it's not helping American workers. It's not helping Americans when they go to the gas pump and gas is 30 cents more a gallon already. The Biden administration has just been a disaster from the get-go.
Yeah, Biden's administration has been a disaster from the get-go. You look at Biden falling over on the steps. It's really sad. And you know that our enemies are looking at this, China and Russia, and they're laughing. They're plotting. They want to take down America. And interestingly enough, I had a conversation, had several conversations with a couple of friends who went to college with, and one of the young men is from another country, and he's now an American. And of course, he has bought into this entire liberal philosophies from Sri Lanka. He's bought into this liberal philosophy that, the black man is just the underdog, and they're doing this to the black man and they're doing that. And he said, oh, well, why don't you call yourself African American? I said, why should I call myself African American? I have nothing, there's nothing linking me to African other than my descendants were Africans. As far as I'm concerned, I am an American. Why do I have to say African American? Do you see Jamaicans saying that they are African Jamaicans? No, they say they're Jamaicans. Okay, so why do I have to say that I'm African American? Why can't I just be an American? You know why? Because white liberals don't want that. They want me to say African American because they don't want me to be as an American as they are. So folks, wake up. Up until the 80s, blacks were known as Afro-Americans or Black Americans. And now all at once they say, no, we don't want you known as that. We want you known as African Americans. Well, I'm not an African American. I am an American. Just as much as that liberal is an American, the white liberal, I am an American. And I think them wanting me to say that and calling me that is an affront to who I am. I am an American, and you address me as an American. Africans would laugh at me and say, you're not African, you're an American. You can say you're Black American, but not African American. Barack Obama can say that he's African American, but all the good it's going to do. But we got to start, like I said, I'm just calling this out. We got to start looking at this because the liberals and their crazy wackadoodle agenda is destroying this country. And I agree with Charles Barkley. That's all these politicians, mainly the Democrats, want is to keep Black people and white people fighting at each other. You know why? Because it's power and it's money. Look at Al Sharpton. That Charlatan has pushed this whole race, this and that, since the 70s. And now he's on MSNBC, pontificating more racism. Joy Reid, the woman who was homophobic, said some really nasty things, and then she claimed, oh, some being from outer space came and attacked my account. No, Joy, you did it. But yet still she has a platform. Again, rules for thee, not for me. They change the ball game up as they go along. Don Lemon, another hateful man, pontificating, oh, there's racism and Trump doesn't know this and this person doesn't know that. Hateful. Why are they still on the air? As President Trump said, we ourselves must start boycotting these companies. We've got to start boycotting. Now, I know Sean Hannity say don't boycott. Okay, Sean, that's fine. We need to start boycotting. Mm-hmm. Delta, Coca-Cola, attacking Georgia for clarifying their election laws, saying that if you are a poll worker, you can't go out and give water to the people standing in line. Oh, they don't want people they don't want people to eat. They don't want people to drink. Well, why can't you do that at home before you go out to vote? You do everything else at home. Why can't you do that? And then no voter ID. No voter ID, Andrew, but yet still they want me to take the vaccine and then present a card saying that I took it, but I can't get a voter ID. So they're saying that I'm a stupid Black man. I'm a stupid man. I can't go out and get it because I'm Black. Are you serious? If you can get an ID, Andrew, I can get an ID. You're no better than me. But liberals will tell you that you are. And because you are, you're the racist, and I'm not, because I'm too stupid and dumb to go out and get an ID. Although I've been in America for how long? But I can't get an ID. That's insulting. Very insulting.
Yeah, I never have gotten this voter suppression argument that the Democrats use, because it always
doesn't exist.
Yeah, it always has to do with that there's these long lines in the urban areas, yet that even people from maybe urban areas, if there's a long line at their spot, they can always take a bus and go somewhere else to vote. Then you've got this voter ID thing that they have a huge issue with, saying that blacks have a hard time getting an ID, which is just absolutely ridiculous. As you just said, Rob, if you're born in America, you can get an ID just as easily as anyone else born in America. It does not matter the color of your skin when it comes to getting an ID. Anybody can get an ID. All you need is your Social Security card and birth certificate, and then you're good. You're good. You got an ID. If you've lost it, say you've had a situation, you can always go down to the courthouse and get an ID. It's not that hard. And this is just something that's common sense. I mean, when you've got half the country that agrees that this last election was fraudulent and it did not sit right with them, you've got to do something to convince that this half of the country that the voting is on the up and up. Something has to be done so people know that these elections are fair. You cannot just leave it like 2020, where you've got half the country thinking that we live in the banana republic and the election was stolen for President Trump. I was really happy to see Governor Kemp. I know we've given him a hard time on this show in particular, but I was really happy to see that he is finally putting something into place in Georgia. I wish he'd have done it 6 months before the last election.
Yeah, I agree. He should have done it then, but I guess he was too weak or whatnot, or afraid. But better late than never. Of course, the Democrats would do their best to fight it. I mean, they're planning on removing the elections from the states and putting it at the federal level. Well, they want to do it because they want to cheat at the federal level. Nancy Pelosi. And just speaking of Nancy Pelosi, I think she's like about 80, and then you have Dianne Feinstein, who's 90 or about the same thing.
At least.
I mean, come on, this is ridiculous. These people need to retire. Why are they still? Well, they want to break some record as being the oldest living senator, the oldest serving representative. This has got to stop. We need term limits. These people have been there since Kennedy, and we need them out. They need to come out because they're doing absolutely nothing but destroying the country. I mean, they are changing the educational system. They need to come out. I'm serious. They need to come out as soon as possible because they're not doing anything constructive for the country. They're destroying the country. Joe Biden and this man has been running for president for almost 30 years. He managed to cheat and get it now. Now, and speaking of Joe Biden, they're blaming the dog for biting people and pooping on the floor in the White House. I'm not so certain that Joe isn't the one biting people and pooping on the floor at the White House. Let's just be honest, okay? But he already told the story about him chasing the dog when he was butt naked. He's trying to slap the dog on the butt. I don't know what he was going to do with the dog once he caught the dog in the buff, but hey, that's another topic. But I think this is Joe who's going around pooping on the floor and biting people. And then let's bring in I was going to call her Jill Scott. She's not Jill Scott. Oh, gosh. But Jill Biden, Dr. Jill Biden, who dresses up as a flight attendant, I'm heard, to surprise people, I guess, on Air Force One. Then she goes out and she stumbles over speaking Spanish. And then she steps off the plane with fishnet pantyhose. There's a song by Prince called Fishnet Pantyhose.
Jill Biden and fishnet pantyhose. Are you kidding me?
No. I mean, I want to try to find the picture and put it up for folks to see it.
Melania, I could see it. Jill Biden, huh?
Fishnet pantyhose. I'm thinking, are you serious? Jill, come on, girl. Come on, Jill. But yeah, she had again, I mean, grandmas nowadays, they're hot little numbers. But
this Jill Biden is so cringe. I'm just feel embarrassed for her. Some of these things that she's doing for attention. I mean, whether it's the writing the letters, pretending that she's their dog, or whatever it is, she is just desperate for attention. We said it from the beginning. She wanted in the White House more than Joe. We think that she is who pushed Joe into running for office again here because
without a doubt.
Jill Biden was desperate for this fame and to be the first lady. And the liberal media, just the way that they kiss her ass, it's just disgusting.
Without a doubt, she wanted it more so than Joe. She wanted to be the first lady. And, she got her wish. She managed to pump Joe up with some, vitamin B or something and, cart him up there. The only problem is that he's not house trained. He's going around pooping on the floor in the White House, and that has to stop.
Yeah, it sounds like the Bidens raise their dogs like they do their kids, huh?
Hunter. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, how many of you guys, I'm sure you guys saw the interview with Hunter in the book. Me and my brother's wife, we were two damaged goods, and we came together, and we were hoping to bring Bo back alive. We thought that we could keep him alive by coming together. By banging your brother's wife, you felt that you were going to bring him back. And if he came back, he would have said, "What the hell are you doing banging my wife, dude?" And by his own admission, Hunter said that he and his sister-in-law, they had nothing in common whatsoever. That it was more so Hunter's first wife and Bo that had a lot in common. Now, I don't know if Bo was banging her. It seems as though this family likes to bang people, But, man, I mean, think about it. Joe Biden banged his friend's wife and then married her.
Mm-hmm.
And then the son is now banging his stepbrother's wife.
And
there's a lot of banging going on there, Andrew.
Yeah, and then he knocked up this poor girl, and he says that he doesn't even remember her, the girl that he had a baby with.
Well, that was a stripper. He knocked up the stripper.
Yeah, the stripper. He doesn't even remember her, he claims, and he had a kid with her. Just very sad. This Hunter Biden is just the mental gymnastics it takes for these liberals to read a story like the Hunter Biden is banging his dead brother's wife, and then to make him out to be a good guy. It's just unreal. They continue to impress me with some of their spins that they can put on some of these stories. It's unreal, because anybody with an ounce of common sense would read that and just be like, this guy is a sleazebag. And they try and get you to read these articles, and by the time you're done with an article, you're like, oh, this Hunter Biden, he's not that bad of a guy.
The guy is a complete disaster. I mean, it was his laptop, and I want to revisit that laptop, because the media is making it seem as if though it's just a laptop, and yeah, there were some things on it. No, there were some damaging things on that laptop. There were pictures of him in the buff. There were pictures of him that I thought were initially fake, but the picture of him asleep with the butt in his mouth, that's actually him. A picture of him in the bathtub trying to cover up his man boobs, that's actually him. I mean, and we got to also remember that he had a problem with drugs. I mean, and it's most unfortunate because a lot of people struggle with substance abuse. But he suffered with heroin, and in the book he talks about it. That they sent him away to some camp in Arizona, to have his addiction taken care of, and that he called his sister-in-law to come and help him, and she came like 1, 2, 3 to help him. The next thing you know, he was banging her. But the point I want to make is that, this guy, I mean, I know when you look at him now, he smiles, he has a really nice teeth, but, that wasn't always the case. He has heroin teeth, and they don't look good at all. I wish him success and much luck through this journey of substance abuse, because I hear that it's, it will knock you down. But I think that Joe needs to take a step back and take care of him, or at least Jill. Someone needs to take care of Joe, first of all, because like I said, this going around pooping on the White House floor is just unacceptable. It is completely unacceptable. And stop blaming the dog for it, Joe. Let's just be honest. Stop blaming the dog. But Hunter needs tender love and care by someone. Mm-hmm. He needs help.
It's just so sad. You look at Hunter Biden, who's just a complete disaster. I mean, a drug addict, selling out America for his dad, being bought by Ukraine and China. And then you've got the media who pretends he's this great guy. But then you look at the opposite end of the spectrum, and you've got Eric Trump, Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, Lara Trump. These are all exceptional people, never been busted doing anything illegal. They're pillars of their community, and the media treats them just awful, like they're just complete disasters. It's like they've got it totally turned around and twisted. Trump's kids have all been a fantastic example of society. And then you look at Biden's son, and he is just an absolute disaster. I mean, this kid's a drug addict. I mean, he's dishonest. We've seen some of these shady pictures and the rumors from the laptop. It's just unreal the difference that the media does when they talk about the Trump's kids, Donald Trump's kids, who have been fantastic in life,
Yeah.
and then Hunter Biden, who's just been an absolute disaster. You would think it was the other way around.
Yeah, absolute disaster. And as far as the media has absolutely no credibility. They shouldn't even try and talk about Donald Trump and his kids. They have absolutely zero credibility. Look at Andrew Cuomo. I mean, he sat there Chris Cuomo sat there on CNN, he and his brother, joking about COVID-19, only to find out that the brother had gone through and got he and his family all types of tests to make certain that they either had COVID-19 or they didn't. Because what people fail to realize is that at the beginning of this China virus, the test to test yourself to see if you had it, it was on short supply and only a certain people could get it. Now you go out your front door, there's someone out there saying, hey, do you want a COVID test? But when we first entered into this treacherous period in our country's history, everyone couldn't get a test. But Andrew Cuomo arranged for his family to be tested, over everyone else, all the while he was attacking President Trump. Now, I will say again, I know that a lot of people don't like Trump. He comes off as being brash and boorish and whatnot, but do not doubt his love for this country. Do not doubt that. Do not doubt the successes that he has done for this country, did for this country at the border for blacks. Now, people will poo-poo on it. Oh, he didn't do this. Well, what did Obama do? Obama did absolutely nothing. Don't even talk about him. He did absolutely nothing. But going back to this Cuomo guy, and I think people also fail to realize about this is that it was because of Cuomo, some say, that we had the 2008 market crash, because he was forcing banks to give loans to people because he was a secretary of HUD. And as we know now, the man has a very nasty, nasty attitude. He's a nasty man. So all those women who are out there saying, oh, I want him to be my husband, that is a reason why probably your marriage isn't working right now. Because you're choosing the wrong man. Let's just be honest. You're picking the wrong men. And for some of the women out there who aren't married, you're choosing the wrong men. And just imagine had you guys coupled with Andrew Cuomo. He would have been a disaster. He would have cheated on you. He would have talked down to you and told you your place is in the bedroom and the kitchen. But all these women, oh, he makes me feel so good. He makes me this. These women have bad judgment. Because I saw straight through this guy. And I knew that he was no good. And now the truth is coming out. He was busy trying to negotiate a multi-million-dollar book deal while 15,000 elderly people died. Well, Andrew, I want to know if the elderly were black or what percentage of it was black. It's just they kept running with this thing that the blacks are suffering the most. You don't hear that, do you? They've never broken down the number as to the 15,000 people, elderly, that died. What was the percentage of white, black, Hispanics? You don't hear that. And I doubt we ever will. Right. Because if we were to look into it, he would then look like a racist. And of course, the liberals don't want to say that Andrew Cuomo is a racist. See, these are the things, again, these are the things that we dissect here on Rob and Andrew After Dark that you guys need to start thinking about. Why haven't they broken down that number to see of the 15,000 plus, how many were black, how many were white, how many were Hispanic, how many were Chinese? Why haven't they broken that down? Why aren't they running and talking about that? Because the numbers would probably surprise you. You see, bet you never thought about that. But we thought about it. You see, we're looking out for your best interest. Unbelievable, these guys. Unbelievable.
Yeah, well said, Rob. And just another reminder to everyone, we appreciate our listeners so much, especially the ones who've been with us since the old Periscope days. We appreciate you guys, and we really hope everyone follows us to America Out Loud.
Yes.
When we got kicked off of Twitter, we were forced to look for another platform to increase our viewership, because a majority of our views were from Twitter. It really set us back a lot, but we're excited about this new platform. We don't need Twitter anymore. So all of our listeners, Megan, Joni, BB, DB, Joe, everybody who's in the chat from week to week, we really hope you guys will sign up for iHeartRadio if you don't already have it. And all you got to do is type in America Out Loud and join us. Go there every weekday at 9 Eastern time, and Rob and I will be on. So yeah, we thank everybody for listening to us and your continued support. We will continue to be around, and thank you so much to everyone.
Absolutely. And spread the word, because we're still here, just on a different platform. God bless, be safe. And we might come on tomorrow again, just to, to keep reminding you guys that we're going to a new platform, but hey, we're not gone. We'll be there. Thank you. Have a good night.